we're going to start our health lesson for the day. So as I'm playing this short video, you can quietly watch and listen as you make your way out to the front carpet. Please bring with you your whiteboards and your markers. Come on up.
Today we will make some delicious chicken packets and fruit parfaits. Look at all these great vegetables we have to work with. So one of my favorite things about making these chicken packets is that you can put just about any vegetable in it that you like, and you can change up the flavors every time you make it by just adding a different set of ingredients. Let's wash our hands and then cut up a red pepper. Now remember, when you're working with knives at home, to always make sure a grown-up is around. There are really three things about this dish. We have the protein, which I'm using fish, and you're going to use chicken, and then we have the vegetables and the seasonings.
And would it make a difference if you're using chicken or fish?
Well, there are some differences cooking-wise. The fish takes a lot less time in the oven. The fish has important oils in it that are particularly healthy for you. They're both excellent sources of protein. Let's get started on your chicken. One of the things is to try something new if you're feeling adventurous today. Or if there's something you haven't tried before, why not try something new? Or if you prefer, pick your favorites today, and the next time you make it at home, you can try something different. These are looking good. If you're making this at home with your family, and everyone wants to make it their own way, you can actually write names on the foil. Then when it comes out of the oven, you'll know exactly which one is yours. The oven is set to 400 and preheated. We'll come back to check on them in 20 minutes and make sure the internal temperature has reached 165 degrees. So after 10 minutes, we'll put the fish in. The fish will cook to 145 degrees internal temperature. While that's cooking, let's get started on the parfaits.
Yay, dessert!
We have some fruits here that you're familiar with, like strawberries, grapes, blueberries, and bananas. For toppings, we have some low-fat, whole-grain granola and some pecans. Some examples of whole-grain ingredients are oats, brown rice, whole-grain barley, and whole wheat. In our bowls here, we have some low-fat yogurt.
Yogurt and milk sends calcium to your bones. And so when you grow up to be a strong young man, what woman in your case?
How you do it is really up to you. Some people like to put the yogurt down first. Some people like to put the granola down first.
I usually
Writing
eat fruit
anything
for
right now.
snacks,
Have some
but sometimes
markers.
I'll eat them for breakfast.
Fruit is a great snack. It can be good for breakfast, lunch, part of a meal, or dessert. Here you go. Do you remember what temperature it should be?
About 165 degrees Fahrenheit.
Perfect. Yay, it's done. Let's go eat. So here in this meal, we have the protein from the chicken and the fish, and we also have all the vitamins and minerals from the vegetables that we've used. So my favorite part was working with you guys to put our packets together, creating our own unique flavors, and now getting to taste how it comes out.
Yeah, it tastes delicious.
Stuff is like edible art, colorful and creative at the same time.
I didn't know cooking healthy foods could be so nutritious and fun.
On to the parfaits. I can't wait to dig in.
Chef, I could easily make this at home for a snack. And I think I will sometime.
You can use whatever fruits are in season. Switch it up, just like we did with the chicken packets. We can try different things, different times.
It's actually very easy to make this perfect.
Today we made chicken and fish packets and a fruit parfait.
It was very fun. And nutritious.
And delicious.
For more information about nutrition and healthy eating, and to find the recipes you've seen today, visit www.nutrition.gov.
Alright, so today we're going to talk about nutrition. We're going to read an article together as a class. We're going to complete a concept map together as a class. Then you're going to do a food groups activity, and that's going to be a group activity. And then you're going to do an independent writing activity. So who can name one of the main food groups? This is something that you should already know. Claire.
Vegetables.
Veggies, good one. Who can name another food group? Zach?
Dairy.
Dairy, yes. What's another one? Meat. Can we name another one? Yes?
Candy.
Candy, sugars, and fats. That's our sometimes food, right?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yes.
Fruit.
Fruits. We're missing one. We're missing one main food group. Yes?
Gross vegetables.
She said veggies.
Oh.
We're missing grains.
Grain.
Grains. But yeah, you guys remember the food groups, right? That might come in handy for this activity. So now I'm going to read an article out loud to you. You're going to follow along. And I'm going to stop periodically to ask you questions to make sure you understand what we're reading. You're going to write those answers on your whiteboards and hold them up, okay? Do not say your answers out loud. All right, we ready?
Wait, what are we writing on our board?
When I stop periodically, I'm going to ask you questions and you'll write the answers to those questions on your board. All right. So this article is called Food Power, All You Need to Know for Health, and you can follow along with me. What kind of fuel do you want to burn? French fries or fresh fruit? Do you see yourself as a tower built from whole grains, vegetables, lean meats, and milk, or one relying on the strength of soda, French fries, and burgers? You get to choose. Have you heard the saying, you are what you eat? Well, it's true. The foods we eat contain many kinds of nutrients. Nutrients are the chemical substances in food that our bodies use to build our tissues and organs and fuel our growth, learning, and play. Macronutrients provide energy or calories and include carbohydrate, fat, and protein. Macronutrients are the major components of food. Micronutrients include vitamins and minerals and are needed in very small amounts. Micronutrients are present in almost all foods and do not provide energy. Both groups of nutrients are important for building a healthy body. Okay, question number one. Question number one. What are the two main categories of nutrients and what makes them different from each other? What are the two main categories of nutrients and what makes them different from each other? What are the two main categories of nutrients and what makes them different from each other? Hold up your boards when you're finished. Got it. Very good, very good. Seems like you guys are getting this. So, macronutrients provide energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Micronutrients, they're vitamins and minerals, and they do not provide energy. That's very important. Question number 2. Macronutrients include what 3 substances? Macronutrients include what 3 substances? Right, excellent. Question number 3. Micronutrients include what 2 substances? Micronutrients include what 2 substances? Excellent. All right, let's move on. Balance and variety, the key to healthy eating. So what should you eat to get all the macro and micronutrients you need? Have you seen the magazine headlines and the supermarket checkout lines lately? Everyone seems to want to know. The secret to healthy eating is choosing the right mix of foods. As you probably realize, most foods can be classified into one of 5 food groups: grains, fruits, vegetables, dairy, and meat or beans. We also have the sometimes foods that we talked about. Experts agree that you can achieve a healthy balance of nutrients by emphasizing whole grains, fruits, and vegetables, including legumes, in your meals, and choosing smaller amounts of lean meats, chicken, fish, eggs, nuts, and seeds, and low-fat dairy foods. Each food contains a unique set of nutrients, so to consume all you need, it's important to select foods from all the food groups, and eat a variety of foods within each group. This concept is shown in the Balanced Plate for Health on the following page, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But question number 4, for your whiteboards. Question number 4 is true or false? It's important to select foods from all the food groups and to eat a variety of foods within each group. True or false? It's important to select foods from all the food groups and to eat a variety of foods within each group. Good job. It's important to select foods from all the food groups and eat a variety of food within each group. Great. Let's move on in our article here. Understanding carbohydrate, protein, and fat, the energy nutrients. All foods provide energy in the form of carbohydrate, protein, and fat. These macronutrients are the building blocks for the body to use to make and repair cells and provide energy to function. Carbohydrate, starch, and sugar breaks down into glucose, which the brain uses exclusively for fuel. It also serves as the primary energy source for muscles and organs. Because of its extensive use in the body, carbohydrate should be the primary energy source consumed in the diet. Grains, fruits, and vegetables are excellent sources of carbohydrate. On the Balanced Plate for Health, on the next page, you'll see that these food groups together make up the biggest slices on the plate. Fruit and vegetables, and then bread, rice, potatoes, and pasta take up most of the plate. They also come with fiber, especially whole grains, and lots of vitamins and minerals. Another place where we find carbohydrate is in milk and other dairy foods. They are rich in the sugar lactose and are also good sources of protein and calcium. The body requires a smaller proportion of energy from fat and protein. Therefore, foods that are high in protein and fat can be consumed in smaller quantities. This is why the meat and beans food group, foods naturally high in protein and fat, take up only a small slice on the plate. And you can see how much smaller that slice is than, say, the grain slice. It's about half the size. Protein is necessary for making and repairing cells, such as muscle and skin cells. High protein foods include meat, poultry, fish, eggs, nuts, beans, and legumes. Fat is important for protecting organs or for nerve function and for transporting vitamins A, D, E, and K. Keep in mind that some fat is healthier than other fat. Unsaturated fat found in vegetable and fish oils is beneficial to health, whereas fat from animal sources, such as red meat and dairy, tends to be higher in unhealthy saturated fat. Trans fat, present in many processed and fast foods, is very unhealthy and should be avoided as much as possible. Note that there is a very small slice on the plate for these sometimes foods down here. Foods and drinks high in fat and or sugar. Overall, a balanced diet focuses on foods from the grain, fruit, and vegetable groups and relies less on foods from the meat and dairy groups. These properties are shown in the following Balanced Plate for Health. Eating a variety of foods from the 5 food groups will provide all the nutrients you need to be healthy. All right, question number 5. What breaks down into glucose, which the brain uses exclusively for fuel? What breaks down into glucose, which the brain uses exclusively for fuel? What breaks down into glucose, which the brain uses exclusively for fuel? Very good. Question number 6. Why does the meat and bean food group only make up a small slice on the plate? Why does the meat and bean food group only make up a small slice on the plate? This one might require a few more words. Why does the meat and bean food group only make up a small slice on the plate? Why does the meat and beans food group only make up a small slice on the plate? Very good. All right. All right, let's move on. Put it together. Planet Health's Guide to Healthy Eating. Be a food star by following these healthy eating guidelines. Eat for variety. Foods from all food groups are important. Eat foods from all of the food groups every day and choose a variety of foods from each food group. For optimum nutrition, eat more foods from the grain, fruit, and vegetable groups than from the meat and dairy groups. Eat fruits and vegetables at every meal and snack. This will make it easy to eat 5 or more servings of fruits and vegetables combined each day. Select fruits and vegetables of various colors, especially deep green vegetables and orange and red ones. And select those without added sugars or fat most of the time. Go for whole grains. Eat 6 to 8 servings of grains each day, with at least 3 servings being whole grains. Choose whole grain breads and cereals that have at least 3 grams of fiber per serving and are low to moderate in sugar, 5 to 10 grams per serving. Choose foods with healthy fat. The type of fat you eat is more important to your health than the total quantity. Include sources of healthy, unsaturated fat every day from foods such as nuts, seeds, fish, whole grains, and vegetable oils for cooking. Limit saturated fat by replacing butter and lard with liquid vegetable oil when cooking, and by choosing lean meats and low-fat or fat-free dairy products. Avoid foods containing trans fats by purchasing foods with no partially hydrogenated vegetable oils in the ingredient list. Limit foods with lots of saturated and trans fat by eating them only sometimes. Limit foods and beverages with added sugar. Sugar-sweetened beverages, soda, sports drinks, and fruit drinks are the single largest source of added sugar in children's diets, followed by candy, cakes, and cookies. Because they offer so little nutritional value, it is best not to drink more than 2 8-ounce servings of sugar-sweetened beverages per week. How many of you drink more than 2 sugar-sweetened beverages per week? I was going to say your hand should be going up. Instead, choose water and low-fat or fat-free milk as your primary beverage choices. Consume sweets only sometimes, and check food labels to avoid products with sugar in the first 3 ingredients. Keep in mind that the amount of food or calories a person needs depends on his or her age, gender, and activity level. A growing active teenager will need more food than sedentary adults, and boys and men typically need more food than girls and women do. For more specific information about serving size for an individual, go to the interactive website, mypyramid.gov. Finally, there is so much to know about healthy eating that it's a good idea to know how to find reliable sources. Many good internet sites provide accurate nutrition information and healthy tips for eating. And here are a few. So you can go to those websites on your own. All right, question 6, last but not least. Based off of the Planet Health Guide to Healthy Eating, the last 2 pages of your article, I want you to write down one thing you can do personally to improve your eating habits. So check out Planet Health's Guide to Healthy Eating and then write down one thing you can do personally to improve your eating habits. Nice. Good one. Nice. Good job. All right, I'm going to ask you to erase your boards completely. Make sure your lids are on your markers, and you can return to your desk. All right, now we're going to quickly go over these student resources. And these sheets are going to help you with your next activities, okay? So the first student resource says, what's with these nutrients? And it goes over the macronutrients, carbohydrate, protein, and fat. It talks about the functions and facts of each of those. And it says, where can I get it? So for carbohydrate, it says, also known as starch or sugar, primary source of energy in the body, and it's the only fuel the brain will use. We learned all of those things in our article just now. And then it says, where can I get it? Where can you get carbohydrates? Grains such as whole grain breads, cereals, rice and pasta, fruit, veggies, and milk. And then it goes on to explain protein and fat in the following way, in the same ways. Then it talks about micronutrients. It talks about calcium and iron, which are minerals. And then it talks about vitamin A, vitamin C, and folate, which are vitamins. Talks about the functions and facts of each of those and where you are able to find those. So that might come in handy. The next chart in your student resource packet here says what's in a group, and it goes over the food groups: grains, vegetables, fruit, protein, and dairy. It tells you what the best choices are in each group, and it goes over things to watch out for in each group. So that might also come in handy, especially for this next activity here. We are going to complete a concept map together. Now I know this might look daunting. You don't need to worry because we're going to do it together. And as we go over each blank, for example, I will say, food provides blank, micronutrients, and water. Instead of raising your hand to give me the answer, I want you to turn and talk to your partner and tell them what you think might go in that blank. You can use your student resources, and you can also use the article that we just read as a resource. All right, so let's go ahead and do number one. Food provides blank, micronutrients, and water. Food provides blank, micronutrients, and water. Turn and talk to your partner about what you think might go in that blank.
I think it's gotta be
Yes.
Turn and talk.
That's what I was thinking initially.
All right.
Yeah.
Anybody think they might know what goes in this blank?
To reassure what macronutrients is that?
You want to raise our hands? Anybody think they might know what goes in that blank?
Yeah.
Right. Carbs. Yes. Yes.
Zach, what do you
It's-
think goes in that blank?
We decided that it's macronutrients.
Macronutrients. Excellent job. So I'm going to go ahead and write.
Should we write that on our papers?
Yes, you may. Macronutrients. All right.
Macronutrients.
Moving on. Macronutrients include blank, blank, and fat. Macronutrients include blank, blank, and fat. Turn and talk to your partner about what you think the answer might be.
We'll figure it out.
What do you think might go in those blanks? Check out your student resources.
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you think you might know the answer. Yes, Claire.
Carbohydrates, protein, and fat.
All right, carbohydrate, protein, and fat. All right, so carbohydrates are found in blank, blank, vegetables, and blank. Goes to these four. Carbohydrates are found in which four types of foods? Turn and talk to your partner.
Well, this
Wait,
Oh, wait, no, just
oh,
these
carbohydrates,
Just
okay,
these four.
these.
All right, great job on the concept map, everyone. That wasn't so hard, was it?
It's a little bit.
All right. Now we're going to work in groups. You're going to work in your groups of four, you four,
Okay, you're
you
in a group.
four, and you're going to complete this food group categories packet. Let's go over it real quickly. We'll read the directions together so we all understand. Make sure we understand what's going on. Part 1. Categorize each of the foods and beverages listed in the following table by food group. Use the other category for foods that are high in added sugar or fat, especially unhealthy saturated or trans fat. These foods are referred to as sometimes foods. Refer to your student resources if you need help. So you're just going to go over each individual food and you're going to mark which food group it belongs to. For part 2 of this packet, it says you've been asked to plan the snacks, including beverages, for the next 3 meetings of your after-school club. Create a healthy snack plan that follows these rules. Each day, the snack and drink includes options from 3 or more food groups. So you don't have to fill in for day 1 an option for grain, an option for fruits, an option for vegetables. You don't have to have an option for each food group for every day. You have to have an option for at least 3 food groups every day. Over the entire 3 days, snacks and drink include at least 1 option from each of the food groups. So over these entire 3 days, you need to make sure you cover all the food groups at least once. Make sense?
Yes.
Last but not least, list the beverage for each day and remember that the beverage may also fit into one of the food groups. So for example, for day 1, if I had my snack was whole grain crackers and I had carrots as another snack, and then my drink would be 100% apple juice with no sugar added. So that drink is going to go under beverage and it's also going to go under fruit, right? So I've covered my 3 groups. I've covered grains, I've covered vegetables, and I've covered fruits. I have a beverage. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So you can go ahead and begin your work on that, the group work. Start with part 1.
Okay, so you just check which box it goes in.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Getting.
All right, so the final activity for this lesson is an independent writing activity. So you guys are going to write in the space provided here. If you need extra room, you can get out another piece of paper. And you're going to read the directions to yourself. When you're finished, you can go ahead and turn it in to me. Okay, this is an independent activity. All right, so today we talked about nutrition and the different nutrients you can get from different foods. You all did a great job on the concept map. You finished the group activity on food groups, and you did your independent writing activity. So we're almost done, but before you leave today, we're just going to do an exit slip. So I need you to take out a piece of paper, write your name, and answer these 3 questions. You can turn that into me on your way out the door. Good job today, everyone.